Gotta get more followers.
Hello everyone, Canadian Futures Trader here. Today's video, going to be going over 5 trading psychology tips to harness your inner trading expert, as told by a funded futures trader. That would be myself. Guys, first things first, before we get to the feature presentation, be sure to check out my website, CanadianFuturesTrader.ca, link down below. Cover all things related to the world of futures trader evaluations, deals, discounts, promos. On top of that, though, also have reviews, have a free futures course that I put together. Nothing on my site is for sale. You can visit for free, and I encourage you to do so. Let's get to this presentation. So first things first, before we get started, a little bit about my trading background. For anybody that is new here, welcome. I'm the Canadian Futures Trader. I started trading futures in 2020. Before I actually took my first trade, I spent several months researching futures trading, funded futures programs, trading methodology, etc. I put in a lot of hard work to really learn as much as I possibly could. I realized there was a need for actual good futures trading content. There really wasn't a lot out there when I started, so I started my own YouTube channel in 2020. Original purpose was to show my valuation progress. I was going through 2 different companies' valuations at the time, and I wanted to show my day-by-day progress and honestly kind of be accountable for it. I started the website, CanadianFuturesTrader.ca, in 2021 with information about trader evaluation programs initially. I've gone on now, if you dig around the site, there's tons of articles, content I've written about futures trading, informational stuff. But still the main focus is, since that's what's most popular, is sort of deals and reviews on the funded futures programs. It says here I also launched a free trading course in late 2021. It's on my website as well. It's still there. Still holds true. Here we are, like almost, it's about a year and a half later at this point, and they are still the same trade setups that I take at this point. I just want to mention, like, nothing is for sale on my website. There's no upsell, nothing like that. So be sure to go and explore it. So I've passed evaluations with multiple companies at this point. It says here in excess of 1 million. It's actually closer to 2 million at this point in funded accounts. I also have my own account that I trade with a brokerage. And the last point here is I haven't had a real job, in quotes, since 2007. Just meaning what I would say is a real job is like a job where you actually like have a boss and have to go to work or telecommute and have responsibilities. You're sort of beholden to someone else. I haven't had that for, we're going on 16 years now. So kind of nice. And certainly futures trading is one opportunity that can lend itself to that. So another quick look at my website. Be sure to check it out. Like I said, the evaluation deals are here. Also the reviews, free futures course. And if you dig around, you'll also find where you can, on the next slide, sign up for evaluation deals. So if you just want to email every time there's like a super amazing, best of the world trader evaluation deal, that's what I email out, nothing else. Again, I don't try to sell you anything. I'm just giving you the information. If you want the info and when there's a new awesome promo, I'll send it to you. Unsubscribe at any point. Let's get to some trading stuff. So before we start on the actual points in the slide, trading's not easy. Most people will fail point blank. Read the video or the disclaimer at the beginning of this video. It kind of explains quite a bit about that. There's not going to be any trade setups in this video. This video is much more, I'm paraphrasing here what it says on the screen, is the frou-frou, touchy-feely side of trading. We're going to get into 5 trading psychology tips, if you will. It's been a while since I did a video like this, and I truly believe that the trading psychology side is where most people get hung up. They fail. It's what causes them to fail, etc. So number 1, have a plan going into the day. Don't just start up your computer and start trading away. I've seen too many people, like within 30 seconds of starting their computer, they're already in a trade, have put zero effort into actually having a plan or even just observing the market. So I want you to think about, before you do any trade, hands off, just start your computer. You can start it going, all your charts, everything that you like to do. But think about, what are you going to do if, you have 3 losers in a row? What are you going to do? You have 80% towards your daily loss, your drawdown, and this applies whether it's your own personal account or a trader valuation. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if you have 3 great winners in a row? A lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, now I've got a buffer. I'm gonna keep going because I've got a buffer." Is that the right decision for you? We all have to ask that question. Let's say you've traded for 10 minutes and you're already tilted. Tilted just meaning, you're frustrated, you took some losers, maybe you missed some trades that you wanted to take, whatever it might be. You're already frustrated with the trading day. What are you going to do? So I'd encourage you to plan out your trade setups. When X and Y happens, you do Z. Now you should have these kind of already sort of pre-programmed in your mind. You know what your trade setups are. And I'm going to reference myself in a lot of this video. If you look at my free course, and this isn't just trying to get you to go look at my free course, I'm just trying to say there's, I believe, just 6 trade setups on that free course. I literally use about 3 of them on a day-to-day basis. And that's all I do. I have say 3 primary trade setups day in, day out. That's what I'm looking for. When X and Y happen, I do Z. And that's it. Is it repetitive? Is it boring? Hell yes. But guess what? That's what makes money in the long run with trading. So I'd encourage you to consider that versus what I see a lot of people do, which is chase things, use a lot of sort of gambling sort of references towards trading. That's not going to sustain you in the long run. So do the same for your mentality and stick with it. Have a plan. When I start to feel tilted, I'm going to shut down. Literally just going to shut down for 30 minutes and let myself cool off. Is it difficult to do? It is definitely difficult to do. None of this is easy to do. If it was easy to do, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't be saying, CFT, I need some tips when you're a master at it. Most traders, in my opinion, again, I don't claim to be some guru. I've been at this for 3 years, but I will say in the world of futures trading, 3 years might actually be sort of considered a long time. A lot of people quickly tilt, get frustrated, blow up their accounts, and move on. To make it in the long run, you really have to implement sort of a trading plan, and that's why you're here. So let's continue. In my opinion, now this is, again, all coming from my frame of reference. Less is more. Less trades, only premium trades. I kind of liken this to poker. If you don't play poker, that's fine. But I think you can appreciate the idea that you should only be taking the best of the best premium trades. Takes a lot of restraint. It's exciting trading, right? It's fun. You want to just get in the market. You want to be in the mix. You see something starting to go up. Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to jump on this train. And then it bites you. But anyways, so this is my personal belief. So be selective. Every trade has some probability attached to it. So whether it's your personal probability and whether that's right or not, that's to be determined. So that's why I encourage you to only take the best of the best, the premium trades, because at least you're giving yourself a fighting chance. Even taking only the premium setups doesn't mean you're going to win every time, but at least sets you in a position where you will have a few more, some percentage more successful trades in the long run, and it's over the long run that we succeed. I also, this last point here, I encourage you to not set a specific number. I'm only going to take 5 trades today. Just one example. Every day is unique. I've had days where I've taken 0 trades. There's just no premium setups. And that's just the market. The market isn't equal every single day. Some days are slow, some days are fast, some days there's news, some days there's not. Maybe it's a Friday, there's less activity. Maybe it's a Monday, there's more activity. There's so many different dynamic variables in trading that this is why, again, you need to be on top of this stuff because there's so many variables. You need to put as many of them in your favor as you possibly can. So by limiting yourself and saying, I'm only going to take 5 trades today, or I'm going to take, another option might be, I'm going to take 5 trades today, and those 5 are going to be the best trades of the day. Why though? Maybe there's just no good trades today, and that's quite possible. There are several, I would say there's at least 2 days a week where I walk away with 0 or 1 trade. Honestly, if you want to even include 2 trades, there's probably 3 to 4 days a week where I walk away with just maybe 2. I'm going to add on 3. I know I'm kind of creeping here, but there's not these blockbuster days where you're taking 5+ trades often. It really shouldn't be. If you are, hey, maybe you have a completely different trading style to myself. Personally, I'm again, it's the less is more. I am a big proponent of pick off those amazing trade setups. There will be days where they just stand out. They're coming on the screen. They're screaming at you like, enter this trade. Those are the amazing days. The other days, you just gotta sit on your hands. You gotta be okay with the fact that there might literally be 0 trades that day. I never said any of this is going to be easy. It really is an exercise in patience. So number 3, know when you're on tilt. Again, tilt just being you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you want revenge on the market, and you need to have a plan. So you need to have the sort of introspective sort of view of when, okay, I'm now tilted, so I need to do ABC instead of XYZ. In my opinion, that's the time. I mean, there's no trading at that point. You should literally just be walking away. And whether it's walking away for the day, walking away for 30 minutes, I would encourage you to, at a minimum, walk away for 30 minutes. Don't think walking away for 5 minutes is going to reset you. Personally, it just won't. I think having that plan and having the insight to say, you know what, I'm frustrated, I'm mad, I just took 3 losers, whatever it is that sets you on tilt, just walk away. And again, if maybe it's near the end of the trading day, it's time to just shut down and say, you know what, I will be better off doing nothing at this point than trying to revenge trade. Not easy, the last point here. Very, very difficult. Something I had to teach all traders, I would suspect, or vast majority. I'm going to go on record and say pretty much every single trader who's successful has to learn this lesson at some point. We all start off as traders who want to be in the market. We want to be engaged. We want to trade as much as we can. We take a few losers. We start automatically looking for ways to make our money back. And that is honestly probably the wrong mindset to have. Instead, you need to walk away. You need to cool off. You need to reset, sort of rebalance yourself. And if that means walking away for the day, so be it. But it honestly can save your account. Again, coming from someone who's passed plenty of evaluations, but failed plenty more on my sort of rise up and kind of figuring this stuff out. I put a lot of work into this, not just on trade setups and trade execution, etc., and money management, but just literally on the trade psychology side of this, which is why I like to talk about this stuff. And honestly, I would love to actually make more of this stuff than trade videos. Trade videos are easy. Here's my setup. If I see it, great, I'm going to take it. If it goes against me, I cut my loss. If it goes in my way, great, we manage the trade. I won't say simple, but it's fairly ABC. Trade psychology is really an internal battle, and I feel like this is really the important stuff, and this is really what makes great traders, or also kind of quickly weeds out who's not going to make it. All right, number 4, I want you to disconnect from the money. You got to connect to the good trades. Now, I'm going to say up front, this is a little bit difficult when you're in the trader evaluations because the goals are very much money oriented, right? You have a goal of whatever. Let's say a 50K. Your goal is 3,000 in profit. And maybe there's a consistency rule. You can only make X amount a day. So you do have to be very cognizant of, where you stand on the day, your profit and loss, etc. But I encourage you long term, if you have the ability to completely disconnect from the money. And this can help you even in trader valuation. I don't want you to ignore this just because you're like, oh, I'm in a trader valuation, this doesn't count to me. No, it still counts for you. This was honestly a huge turning point as well, was just disconnect from the money. And what I mean by that is focus on making great trades. You come to the realization that a lot of trades will be losers. Like, you have to just accept that. My win rate year over year hovers around 62, 64%. Pretty consistent. I track my stats very diligently. I know what they are. But what does that mean? That means that 1 out of 3 trades, slightly more, I'm losing. Like, I'm taking a loser on 1 out of 3 trades. So if I take 3 trades in a day, one of those is going to be a loser on average. You have to get to a point where that's just okay. You have to realize that. Then the real skill, kind of phase 2 of that plan, is realize when you know that 1 out of 3 is going to be a loser, just in this example, make that loser as small as it possibly can. If you can rinse and repeat this skill set time after time after time, day after day, week after week, year after year, 1 out of 3 trades is a loser. Let's minimize that loss. Okay, 2 out of 3 trades is profitable. Well, let's squeeze the most out of those that we possibly can. So besides sort of embracing just the raw statistics of what your trading performance is, then using that information is kind of phase 2 of this, where you can really make use of it and become a better trader. Minimize the losses, maximize those wins, put the odds in your favor. You're already winning 2 out of 3. Even if your wins and losses are equal, you lose, let's just say 5 ticks when you lose, you win 5 ticks when you win. A 2-to-1 win ratio is fantastic. You're going to be just fine in the long run. The problem people run into is they get into a loser, they stick with it, they're like, this is going to turn around, it goes against them, now it's 10 ticks against them, 10 ticks against me, it has to turn around, now it's 20, and it just runs out of control. It's a runaway train. That's where you get bit. You have to have the discipline to manage your trades to a very specific plan, and that's what this whole video is about, is having a trading psychology plan. And at that point, it's trade management, but it is very much a psychological thing, right? If you're down 5 ticks, do you have the discipline to cut that loss and say, you know what, I'm going to move on to the next trade? Because here's the thing, think that process through. You take a loss for 5 ticks, guess what? Sometimes it's going to come back and you'll go, darn, if I had just stayed in the trade, I would have made my money back, blah, blah, blah. That's going to happen. But guess what? There's a lot of times that would have continued against you. And you need to remember that as well. So it's all about just cutting those losses as quick as you can and grab those winners and squeeze them for everything that they're worth. All right, number 5, last point here. Kind of a virtual game I've seen a lot of traders play, and it's really detrimental. A lot of the I should have, what if I would have, I should have took that trade, I should have stayed in that trade longer because it was a winner, I should have got out of that trade sooner because it was a loser. There's a million possibilities, and this is kind of what I talked about in point 4 as well. You can play the what if game until, all day long. It's not going to do you any good. You need to stick with what actually is your plan. I'm no stranger to taking a loss and then say the trade comes back and I would have been up 5 ticks. It doesn't matter. You're out of that trade. Your goal is to, in the long run, get out of those losers quick, stay in the winners as long as you can, squeeze as much out of them as you possibly can. If you start playing I should have, you can play I should have games like all day long. You can sit there and not take one trade and just watch the market and go, I would have entered here. I should have entered that trade. I would have won. I get a little bit frustrated with people who play the what if game because it's just all hypotheticals. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The trades that you actually take are what matters. So there's zero value in thinking about what would have happened in hypothetical situations. I've kind of already said this. I paraphrased it, but there's countless movements in a day. You play what if all day if you want. If that's what you want to do, go to town. But guess what? Playing what if isn't going to make you any money. So a little bit of tough love, but that's the reality. The trades you make are what counts, nothing else. So going back to slide number 4, you got to cut those losses quick and you got to squeeze the wins for everything they're worth. And that's all that matters. And then going back another slide or 2 before that, you're only entering trades that are premium setups. So even if it's a loss, that you at least took a shot at a great trade setup. If you're just constantly trading, you're entering trades, jumping in, out, you're not harnessing your actual potential as a trader. So that's just my opinion, but that's really what I think is going to screw a lot of people. You're just completely entering a lot of trades, you're taking losses, you're getting on tilt, you're chasing losses, and you're blowing accounts. And that's kind of the cycle of your average everyday trader. So I'm encouraging you to be better than that. Pick premium trades, have a plan. When a trade goes against you, X amount of ticks, you're out. You're out, and there's just no question, and then you're on to the next trade. And just the last point here, if you find yourself a lot of times saying, I should have taken that trade, what if I didn't, what if I had, I should have, blah, blah, I should have got out here, blah, blah, blah. Well, why didn't you? Like, if you should have, At some point, you should be learning from your mistakes and you should be actually executing on those things. So if you find yourself playing the what if game quite a bit and day after day, probably those aren't actual executions that you would have taken anyways if you actually were in that trade. So just be very, very real with yourself. And a bonus point, it wasn't, I duped you, it wasn't the last point, but number 6, if you will, no one's going to hold your hand. You got to hold yourself accountable. And again, I'm kind of just trying to really drive this home. At some point, you have to realize nobody's going to fix your trading but you. Like, if you want to be successful at trading, you're going to have to say, here's what's working, here's what's not, here's what I'm going to do about it. Like, seriously, stop screwing around. Like, there's literally no excuses. So ask yourself, what are you going to do? Are you actually going to have a plan? You're going to say, CFT, you know what, that was a great video, thanks so much. Now I'm going to go back to doing the same stuff I've always done. I'm going to chase NQ up and down like a crazy person, and then complain when I have a bad day, and when I have a good day, think that I'm some ace trader, when really you just got lucky. So really, I encourage you to be actually honest with yourself and have a plan. Like I said, no one's going to be accountable for your trades but yourself. At the end of the day, if you blow up account after account, you can bitch about it online as much as you want, but you're the one that's having to pay for resets, put new money in your account, whatever it might be, so at some point, and hopefully the point is now, like, I'm realistic, I'm really hoping. I don't like to do these videos because I like to talk incessantly for no reason. My voice starting to go out. I have better things I could be doing with my evening, but I legitimately hope this helps some trader out there. Somebody watches this video and goes, you know what, that CFT guy kind of rings true. You know what? I do chase a lot of trades. I don't really have a plan when I go into the day. When I take a few losses, I just chase my losers. I hope this rings true for somebody out there. So the last point here, it's your future. Stop screwing around, take control. I can be as nice or as blunt as I can, but ultimately it's your responsibility, guys. And if you actually take responsibility and say, okay, I need to make some changes. Things have not been going well for me as a trader. I watched the CFT guy's video for a reason. If I was super successful, I'd probably be doing something else with my day. So maybe I should actually listen to him and think about what changes I should maybe make in my trading habits to make myself a better trader. That's how we get ahead in life. We look for self-improvement. And the thing is, there's plenty of opportunity for you to do so, whether it's watching videos like this and actually then going and taking the information and implementing it. So I encourage you to do so. So just some final points, takeaways. Trading is a hard way to make an easy living. I've never once said this is super easy. It takes a lot of work. And again, it's not just work on your trade setups or anything like that. I really believe the psychology aspect of trading is what kind of differentiates between successful traders and maybe those who got lucky a few times. Make this year better than last. You can always be improving. As I record this, it's May 2023. Hey, what are you going to do to make the rest of 2023 your year? Grab it by the horns and make it a better year. So next point, trading is a job. Treat it like one, put in the work. Another point that I didn't really make a slide of, but I want to emphasize a little bit is just I do see a lot of people who just look to trading as I'm going to make, I'll get a quick win and I'll make several $1,000s and fantastic, I'm good for the month. Problem is, trading doesn't always work like that. Very seldom works like that. You really do have to put in the work, and it shows that those that put in the work are successful. Those that just screw around will eventually burn out and move on to the next thing. Stop pretending, next point here, that trade setups are the only aspect to whether you are successful or not successful. It's crazy how much discussion I see about trade setups and what indicators do you use. Oh, I look at the 5-minute chart instead of the 10-minute chart, whatever it might be. Nobody's out there talking about trading psychology. They're like, hey, what do you do after you take 3 losers? I don't think I've ever once seen somebody say that. So if you'd like to continue talking about your trade setups and your charts and what fancy indicators you use, that's great. But I really think that trading psychology is what differentiates the winners from the big losers. So strive to be the best at trading you can in all areas. So I mean, yes, you need your trade setups and whatever method of trading you use, but psychology really is its own discipline. I encourage you to be sort of a master of it as well. And the last point in here even says, become the master. Like, really, there's something to be said for wanting to just be the best that you can be and saying, you know what? Maybe you're watching this video and you do okay at trading. Like, not everybody's like failing at trading. Maybe you're doing okay, but you know what? CFD, I want to take it to the next level. Like, what the hell can I do to become like a ace trader and just really master it? And maybe you watched this video and you thought, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm not focusing on all those trader psychology aspects of it. Well, now you got a little bit of something to think about for your week. All right, guys, that's it for me. Contact info's there, my website, all my social media is just on my website. Go to the contact page. Like I said, my site mainly focuses on funded future programs. That's how I kind of came up and garnered a lot of success in that area. But certainly there's the free futures course, tons of articles, tons and tons. I've been writing articles for years now. Encourage you to read those. If you want discounts, promos, etc., read the video description below, or just go to my website. Always has the latest and greatest trader valuation deals and promos. A lot of opportunity out there in the trader valuation world. I'm seeing tons of people get funded, have success, not just myself. Lots of other people sort of changing their lives. There really is a world of opportunity out there, and that's why I'm such a big proponent of the funded futures world. But to bring it back to this video and kind of the main purpose of it, I really hope, like I've said it a few times, but I really, really honestly hope that some of this maybe rang true, even if it rang true for one person. Just, you're out there and you're thinking, you know what, I need to focus on this trader psychology part. It's not easy. It's very difficult, but anything worthwhile takes a lot of work, and I encourage you to stick with it and get out there and just try some stuff. If it doesn't work, try something else. So you'll find your way, and hopefully this video will help point you in the right direction, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you in the next video.